Let's go on a field trip to Sawtooth Print Shop, where two artists, Chris and Nieves, are creating amazing prints using an older style of printmaking. We are going to watch how they use something called typeface, and they also carve their own linoleum blocks to create their own unique prints. For example, this one, which is hanging in my art room and definitely a fave. Let's take a look at their studio space and how they go about making these unique prints.
Yeah, hi guys. I'm Nieves. This is Chris. We together are Sawtooth Print Shop, and this is our print shop. We make things with letters and ornaments or dingbats, and everything we do is absolutely by hand. So here are a bunch of, these are metal, we use metal and wood letters. So instead of typing on a typewriter or a computer, you guys live in the future, we do everything by hand. And so instead of typing, everything is put together with our fingers. All of this stuff in one size. So the Punjab typeface in this size, which is just shy of an inch tall, is one font. So this is a font of a typeface. One size of one style of type.
Though.
A lot of it we've carved ourselves. Sometimes we'll need specific numbers, sizes, and there's a 4, and everything's backwards. So when we print it, it's printed frontwise, just like a stamp. You guys probably might have worked with stamps. Maybe you made potato stamps. One of my first printmaking experiences. Tennessee.
And it's backwards.
And it's backwards.
And you guys have to think backwards the entire time you're carving. Isn't that pretty tricky?
It's very tricky.
Especially when you're doing words and letters.
Yeah.
There have been a few times when we've had to recarve something because we were carving along and we realized as we were reading it, oh, I'm reading this. I should not be able to read this if it's backwards. Keep moving on. Art is all about trying and making mistakes, learning from the mistakes, and finding something exciting possibly in those mistakes.
A lot of what we carve in here is out of linoleum, mounted on wood. This is mounted on MDF. We had to buy it from the store, but usually we have a roll of linoleum that we'll cut to size, glue onto wood, and we make everything what we call type high. So all this type, all the dingbats we were showing you earlier, it's all a certain height, and we have to make the linoleum mounted on wood the same height. So when we print it on the press, it's the same exact impression, same amount of ink hitting that, and it looks nice and even across the print. My original one went, but this is sort of the transfer. So what we'll do is lay down a sheet of carbon paper on top of this with our tracing paper proof on top of that, kind of tape it all together, transfer it, so the carbon paper will lay down the artwork right onto linoleum. And from that, what we will do is with different gauges or just different widths and lengths of carving tools, widths and lengths, I guess, just different sizes. We'll carve away linoleum. So everybody wants to put their hand right here and just go at it, stab themselves, but keeping your hand behind it
Hand behind the blade
is really smart because this will cut right into you. So you can see where my artwork was, and then basically I've just carved and carved and carved away all that negative space until I'm left with just the positive black on the print there. So
really, we pull everything and put it in this composing stick. This is just to make sure that everything that we make is all the same length, so when we put it in the press, it prints evenly, doesn't hurt the type or the images, and prints cleanly and beautifully. So I'm not going to take this out because we just inked this up with some ink, but each of these is all individually set in here, and we set it in the composing stick so we know it's all exactly the same width. And to make sure everything fits nice and tight, we'll put little spacers in between the pieces, whether they're metal or wood or these tiny little brass or copper pieces. And then we lay every line in the composing stick, pull it out onto the form, and it's all nice and evenly spaced.
What is this machine called?
So this is a Vandercook 3-proof press, and every job that we print here at Sawtooth, we print on this press from the 20s, and it is a cylinder press, and you'll understand what that is. It just has a giant cylinder on it that the paper rolls over, and I'll show you in a second. But this is the press that we print everything on, and it wasn't supposed to be that way. This press is actually a proof press, so it was for a single print proof that you would take to a giant press for the production. And we treat it like a production press, so we proof on it, and then we print 100 or 1,000 or one poster.
Wow.
It does everything really well, and we love this press. It's our only working press. So what we do, we like to call it, is design by hand. So we'll get information from a client about what they want on the poster, and then we will literally pull words from cabinet drawers in here to build the physical poster with design elements such as dingbats and little image blocks, or this is, you can't really tell, but it's a couple playing a guitar and a banjo. We'll carve elements for these posters, and sort of the fun of this is building a puzzle that not only looks good, but it actually it functions on the press and is printable.
Words. Why is everything backwards?
Oh yeah, so what it will do is when you run a page through, it'll print a reverse on the page. So most printmaking that you do is going to be in reverse. So all the lines that we put in are backwards. We carve backwards. If we were going to carve text, we would carve it backwards. And that's kind of a common mistake when you're starting out, is you'll carve something forwards and go to print it, and then you'll say, I printed backwards. So we're always thinking in reverse in here. Yeah.
So all of this stuff, if we were to open this up and unlock it, it would all just be these blocks of wood that are the same height this way. And you would just pop them in, make sure everything's the same width, and you go and print.
And so all of these, you said it was like a puzzle. So all of these empty spots are where you could be placing different things.
Yep.
And what are these little pieces called?
These are ornaments or dingbats.
Okay.
Use it for its intended purpose, which is decorative elements in letterpress.
Got it. Very cool.
And this is why there is so many spaces here, is that this is the second color of a 2-color poster. So we call this a form, and so the other form has got all these spaces filled with different type.
Ah.
So that's why you see all these negative spaces, and that'll make sense when you see this print go through.
So the first one that printed, this is the second color which we're about to print. This is the first color, and it's all of the green that's on it, and it's just a little bit of the kind of background of the image that Chris drew and carved out of linoleum. And then we'll run this one through again, and you will get the blue.
Okay, we'll do it. So how this operates is that the paper is actually going to run through, and it's called letterpress because the letters are actually going to press into the paper, or the artwork, or the dingbats. It'll all press on the page. So we'll take some ink, and we'll go bop, 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 bop on that, and then drop this down. And then this cylinder oscillates back and forth, so it spreads out. And then what we do is we'll start to roll it onto the press, onto the form, and then these rollers will then spin back and forth, and we'll get this nice even ink coverage here and here, and you just re-ink as you go.
Got it.
And there's your second color, and that's all that negative space on this one, or the green is on this one. So you can see how it all is filled in now. And that's the second color on the image block.
So everything that is now, I guess, black is what was just printed. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Very
Yeah, and you
cool.
can see, bring this back. You can see that.
Special thanks to Sawtooth Print Shop for inviting us in and allowing us to see their awesome creative process. We so enjoyed our field trip to your studio. Thanks, guys.